All right, and it looks like we have Andrew Mahone on the left, and it's going to go up against Bradley on the right here. Now, Andrew is no stranger to the limelight, of course. Wonderful content creator and player in general, but hasn't really had the best season so far.
Yeah, we have the... excuse me, it is Bradley and Andrew Mahone. Andrew Mahone is the people's champion, right? We know that he's a fan favorite. People have been really excited to get him on the stream finally. And it's just a matter of, will this be where his luck finally turns around? We know that he's been showing up to these events, trying to do right by his community. And now it's just a matter of, has the meta finally settled down enough? Has it finally shifted in his favor?
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. He's making it here on the table, and that means one thing. You're one win away from potentially locking up a day 2 spot here.
And you'd love to see that. Getting your win and in broadcasted like this is, like, as you said, something he's used to. He's used to being on the camera. Big shout out to Andrew Mahone for helping with the Top Tech Academy videos, but his opponent's not going to let that get to him, right? At this level, you can't let your opponent's status shake you at all. Like, oh, I recognize this guy. And a lot of the players we've seen today on the stream, are people that you will recognize. If you're deep in the Pokemon TCG competitive scene, these are storied names that have been competing for years and years. And now we're out here to just have a good, clean game. At this point, once your cards are down and shuffled, you aren't thinking about all this extra stuff that's affecting the scene, the competitive meta. You want to focus on the game at hand.
And we actually do have the decks. Both of them are playing now. So Bradley Ireland on the right, he is going to be playing Mew, VMAX, Genesect. So classic deck. Looking through the list, nothing too stand outish so far. No big Paracel here. And then coming to Andrew Mahone, it's Arceus, Beedrill. You love to see it. I was just talking about it beforehand, and with the no big Paracel on Bradley's side of things, it's going to be a little bit hard to work, and 2 Alessa Sparkles in the prizes to go along with it.
Oh, yeah, the 2 Alessa Sparkles in the prizes is going to be rough in getting set up, but if we can get one early KO, if we can get lucky, get that first attack, then the Alessa Sparkle will rescue. It'll be one of the first prize cards grabbed. And again, the big Parasol tech was something we touched on very early on, like right at the beginning of the broadcast, as a way to stop that persist sting effect from the Beedrill. And if that is able to get set up, even if it's not ready to attack, just the threat of this Beedrill on the bench, the potential to switch into it, attach 1 energy, and then get that KO on any Pokemon that has a special energy attached is immensely threatening. But Bradley, off to a great start, has the Mew V, has the Meloetta in the active, and hopefully we can get this swapped to safety here pretty soon if Andrew tries to do anything too shaky to get the Meloetta off. You want that Melodious Echo at your disposal at any time.
Yep. Starting off with the Ultra Ball, does have to discard a Mew VMAX, which could hurt in the long run here, and a Psychic Energy go along with it, knowing what Andrew's playing. But being able to search the deck now, you get to see what cards are prized. You're like, oh man, there's a lot of Alessa Sparkles prized. It's going to be a little bit hard of a game here for the Melodious Echo side of things. But Mew V is found, and maybe we'll see some Battle VIP pass. But going to have a pretty strong turn in this matchup specifically. Ooh, who needs
There's the setup. Has the double Genesect V. Going to activate that Fusion Strike system. Draws up to 4 cards in hand.
Does find a Cramomatic, so can discard and continue on with the turn here, but just opts to pass. Doesn't need anything else. You already got that energy attachment for turn. You got the Mew V on the bench. And now it's up to Andrew to get things set up here.
These Arceus decks are so powerful once they get up and running, but the stumbling block we've seen consistently over the course of the Swiss rounds is just sometimes their setup is just 1 or 2 turns too slow. And with such a powerful opening from Bradley, I worry that Andrew might not be able to get it happening. This was, of course, Arceus, as we said, the big challenger that finally started to show the weaknesses in the Mew VMAX deck. And I think that it can still channel some of that energy, right? Get the disruption going, get the pressure going. And if Bradley, again, is really running low on those Fusion Strike energies, could maybe open up a window of opportunity for Andrew to get set up.
Here we see Ultra Ball discards that Shady Dealings, Inteleon, and Marnie. Most likely going to find that Arceus V to get that going, and we'll have to see what Andrew can do this turn. The best possible turn is probably get that double turbo energy, get another Arceus to charge up, and Trinity charge for the turn with maybe like a scoop up net on that Galarian Zigzagoon, but that's asking for a lot, and if you do that, you're still leaving your Arceus V open to be knocked out in the active spot with that Meloetta.
Yep, Pal Pad putting another supporter from the discard pile back into the deck. Shuffling that now, and at least Andrew has the Arceus. That's all you want to see. If we can get an energy attachment this turn, that'd be really sweet. And going back to Bradley, things are going to get pretty dicey. This Galarian Zigzagoon is pretty much donezo. Professor's Research now. Drawing all the way up to 7 cards.
Two pretty important things found for Andrew here. It's going to be that second Arceus V and the Big Charm. So Big Charm can help one kind of stay in play just a little bit longer, maybe even in combinations with that Charon's Care. True. And does have a water energy to get attached for the turn as well, but
nice. Has the scoop up net, gets to save that Galarian Zigzagoon. So many of these games have come down to being short 10 damage. It's happened so much throughout today, way more than you'd think. And who knows if that now access to the tantrum, the headbutt tantrum for that 10 damage can really matter here in game 1.
And here we're going to see a keep calling from Andrew for the turn. And it's okay because you can just Raihan or Melanie back the water energy that you need. I don't believe he's actually playing Melanie, just the Raihan. But again, having all 4 Sobble in the deck, not too bad. What you want to see here. And even if one does get knocked out, you still have plenty backup.
Yeah, so again, there's 1 Raihan in the list. Going to hopefully make use of that next turn. And the Sobble here is crying. He's got to kind of sacrifice himself.
Ooh.
Take one for the team.
Well, that's
Pokemon
a big
Catcher,
one.
though.
So heads on Pokemon Catcher, heads on Cramomatic, and Bradley is off to the races here. Finds the only other Alessa Sparkle in the deck.
And that's all you need. You only need this to go off once. You're going to get the Fusion Strike energies out of the deck onto the Pokemon you want them to be on. Here we go. Meloetta carrying 2 now for the team.
Just a little awkward that the Cramomatic had to discard the Power Tablet, because now you just still need a Power Tablet or Choice Belt to take the knockout here. But, well, you just already have it in hand. Not bad.
So many strong pieces coming together here for Bradley. Taking down an Arceus V like this, getting 2 prizes, means that you have so many more turns in order to just take out single prizers, right? Start sniping these Sobbles, and you don't seem to fall too far behind. Andrew right now needs to get the Arceus V-Star set up and try to work his way into KOing some of these Genesects perhaps, but the Meloetta is such a huge threat to take out, but it's only 1 prize, and it messes with your mapping sometimes.
Well, here is the Rotom Phone. I believe finds an Ultra Ball for the top of the deck and has the knockout, and now you're just setting up for the next turn. Bradley hoping to find maybe a couple more Fusion Strike Pokemon in play, but no. Just takes the knockout. We'll find both the Alessa Sparkles from the prizes, and don't really need those cards now, but it'll be fun.
Grabbing 2 prizes, getting that KO. Second Arceus now up and running, has the Big Charm attached, and the Evolution goes for Star Birth. Andrew Rohn playing this really quickly, right? You want to save a lot of time here in game 1 because you know that up against Mew VMAX, one of the strongest decks in the format, you still need a lot of time. This is a deck that's going to be searching through the deck a lot, looking for certain cards, drawing a lot of cards, and activating a lot of abilities every single turn. So you got to make sure that you save as much time as you can. And Andrew Mahone, as we know, both players even, very skilled and knows exactly what he needs to do for this matchup. and is now searching for the Raihan, has it set aside, thinking about what that second card is going to be. What do you think he's going to grab, Jeremy?
It's looking like a level ball here for a Drizzile. Raihan can still nab you that double turbo energy that you need. But again, you could just grab the double turbo here too. Raihan is just that third search, so we'll most likely see some sort of Drizzile off the Raihan.
Okay, there's Raihan, attaches the water energy to the Arceus V star, and now goes back into the deck and grabs the level ball. Cashes that in to get the Drizzile.
All right, looking like
just
level
reconsidering
ball
there.
Was it.
Making sure that all the steps in this transaction are being properly declared and sequenced, of course.
And again, we talk about sequencing a lot, especially with decks like Malamar and stuff like that. But when you're playing a card like the Single Strike Mustard, it's just very hard to actually plan perfectly. You need to have that Ultra Ball available. You need to have the Quick Ball available. You need to have the supporter in your hand. You need to have the Beedrill in the deck. And just a lot of different things that culminate to what you need to do. But with a deck like this Arceus deck, you have Shady Dealings and you have Starbirth to accomplish that.
The Ultra Ball was grabbed, but now with one bench slot, we'll have to see if Andrew is going to try to keep that open as long as possible and look for the Beedrill, or if he'll be forced to use the Zigzag. It's starting to get really tight again on the bench space here.
Looking like just the Trinity Nova for the knockout on the Meloetta, and you could accelerate one energy to the active here, maybe two, and trying to retreat the double turbo.
Yep, so just has the one acceleration there. There's two Beedrill in the deck, just one in the prizes, so there's still hope to set up that combo because the special energies are in play. Getting the Meloetta KO was so important to get that powerful attack out of play so that Mew VMAX can't use it. And now that's also 2 Fusion Strike energy that you don't have to worry about currently. Goes for catcher, gets the heads.
Another one. Ultra Ball gets rid of both of the supporters that he just found off the prizes, finds that Mew VMAX, so now you have another attacker on the board since that Meloetta got KO'd last turn. But still, there's only 3 Pokemon in play for Bradley. I'm used to seeing this deck have 6 all game.
You get set up on turn 1, and then that's that. We didn't start to see small benches like this from Mew VMAX until people were running like Collapse Stadium and Avery trying to target it specifically. But now the Cross Fusion Strike.
Another heads on Cramomatic. You got another little shake of the head from Andrew there.
And what is Bradley looking for here off the Cramomatic?
A Mew.
Of course.
Just
get
needs
that
Pokemon.
Going. Just gets them in play. Has the Genesect for more card draw. This is going to give you, of course, more draw. And Cramomatic, again, you discard one item card from your hand, and if you hit that heads, you can then search your deck for any card of your choosing. And we talk about it all the time, Jeremy, how powerful effects like that can be. Because even if you whiff in Mew, you're still thinning your hand, allowing you to draw more with that Fusion Strike system.
Looks like Echoing Horn off the top, switch, Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, nothing too much. So yeah, just gonna attack, take the knockout here. Going down to 3 prizes now, Bradley is. And Andrew is looking to eye down, hopefully, a Mustard turn.
Arceus V-Star coming back up into the active. With the KO on the Drizzile, it is a little bit sad. You know, you can't scoop up net, recycle that, keep searching. We know there's not another Arceus V to pivot to once this main attacker goes down. So we certainly need the Beedrill to happen here. I wonder if Andrew has the right combination of cards in the hand.
Well, with 5 cards in hand and a Quick Ball and Ultra Ball, oh no, 6 cards. Okay, yeah, so you can bench the Galarian Zigzagoon or the Arceus. You Ultra Ball away the cards you can't play. You go and grab a Drizzile. You Quick Ball away the one Pokemon that you don't want to bench. And then Shady Dealings will go and get that Single Strike Mustard.
Okay. And it looks like that combo is all coming together. Andrew just double checking here. Was playing very quickly at the start, but now that things are getting a bit more dire, has to slow down and just double check, make sure everything is going correctly.
Oh, actually opted for an Ultra Ball here off the Drizzile. So finding just another Drizzile.
Wonderful. Ultra Ball into another Drizzile, into the Mustard. Getting the Drizziles out of the deck. Just thinning allows you to, again, set up that scoop-up net for later on so you can recycle those. Here comes the Mustard. You search your deck for a single-strike Pokemon and put it directly onto the bench. Doesn't matter if Beedrill is stage 2, he just gets to come right on down.
And now, the thing that benefits Andrew the most here is the training court on Bradley's side of the board. Andrew just discarded a Grass Energy with Ultra Ball. Now, if you miss the energy off these 5 cards, you can just training court it back to your hand. There's your energy for the turn and 3 easy prizes.
And here's the 5 from Single Strike Mustard. Jumped through a lot of hoops to get that combo to go off, and now it's finally paid off. There's the energy attachment. Uses the training court to go fishing, gets the second Grass Energy, and now Andrew has the answer. Goes for the retreat here with the double turbo. Goes for Persist Sting. Gets the immediate knockout on any Pokemon that has special energy attached to it. Once again, Bradley not running the new Big Parasol technology.
And with that, Andrew's just one boss's orders away from being able to take a knockout on the Genesect V on the bench with 10 damage, or even just the other Genesect. There's no more double turbo on the Arceus V-Star, and Bradley is in a very dire position right now.
The main attackers are getting scooped up. You're starting to get strangled out of this game with less Fusion Strike Pokemon in play. Your Fusion Strike systems draw you less chance to get those outs that you need. And the hand is just, still full of Search, but with an Ultra Ball, you have to get rid of a lot of resources in return. Here goes the Quick Ball. Has to figure out what to discard for it. Switch is the answer. And now Quick Ball's going to go looking. But without Mew VMAX, it gets really dicey to be able to actually put up the numbers you need.
Yeah, just finding another Genesect to try to draw more cards. It's one of those spots where you just need too many cards to actually try to search for the one card you need. Granted, that is what Genesect is good at, is drawing cards.
Overwrites the training court with Rose Tower. Thinning the hand down a little bit, can draw one card here, finds Power Tablet. Can cash that in now to make more room in the hand.
That was definitely an awkward draw, though, because you saw the hand there with Bradley. Having the Ultra Ball with that Fusion Strike energy and the Echoing Horn, those are 2 cards you don't really want to discard. It's going to have to discard one of them, and then you just hope to draw something bad off the top of your deck, like another Battle VIP pass. But ends up drawing the Power Tablet, and I think that might be the last one. Yes.
So no Power Tablets. This means you have to go back to 2-turn knockouts as Mew VMAX. That is blasphemous. You don't get your damage modifier. So Bradley now is... We were worried that Bradley was going to jump out ahead of this game, but Andrew just put together the combo, got the Mustard, got the Beedrill, and just by taking out that key attacker is now forcing Bradley to scramble. He's sticking to his guns, though. You can tell he's still confident, figuring out what the combo is going to be to win on this turn, perhaps.
Oh, no. Those were 2 cards that didn't really matter too much. I guess the Oricorio would matter.
Here's the last Fusion Strike system. We get one more extra card because the Oricorio coming into play. We're drawn up to 5.
So the Oricorio stops the knockout on like other Genesect V, but that one with 10 damage is still just enough to take the KO. So a single energy and boss's orders is still the game for Andrew here, and Bradley is just living on a prayer, trying to figure out a way to get these last 3 prize cards.
There's another Genesect that was pulled and benched, drawing all the way up to 6 cards in hand. There's an energy attachment.
And that's the big thing for Bradley here, is finding that second basic Psychic Energy. That means if Andrew does have another Mustard turn, won't be able to take the knockout with Persisting. And it's one way to limit your opponent's outs to trying to win this game here.
And in the Pokemon TCG, even when things look really dire for you, when you have the ability to put together sequences like this and draw so many cards, you can find the out and you can find your way back into a game. Bradley's starting to get a foothold now on this turn, has the double turbo in the hand after the Marnie. Looking through the discard pile, seeing what is available, what's already been expended by Andrew. Making sure that this is the proper line you want to walk down. And there's the choice belt as well, trying to boost up that damage. Takes down the Beedrill. Very frail, gets one prize. And now, if this Arceus V-Star goes down, Bradley can take the win here in game one.
Woo! That's exactly what Andrew needed. Off the top, the basic energy. He had the double turbo in hand, but thanks to that Oricorio and its ability, would make it 20 short from taking the knockout. So with that, just needed that one basic energy on top. Who would have thought?
So you can sidestep the damage reduction for the double turbo energy, use the basic to attach, and Andrew clutching it out there right as Bradley was about to start turning the game back in his favor. Andrew says no, gets that top deck, and that's how you know that you're having a good day, is you're on your winning end, and then you have that clutch top deck to just say let's go. Oricorio finding its way, of course, back into these Mew decks now that they need to be a bit more respectful of what the opponent's decks are capable of doing. Everybody sort of reformed the damage numbers that they can hit in order to first deal with Mew VMAX, and now Arceus, right? Arceus V-Star with the big charm is also the big numbers that players are trying to hit right now, 310, 320.
Yeah, and that's where Oricorio really comes in handy. It just, when you're playing against an Arceus V-Star, they're dealing 180 damage most of the time. They have that double turbo energy, so that means their Trinity Nova is not 200, but 180. Sometimes that has a choice belt, that's 210. But if they don't have any damage modifiers, they're doing that 180, and you have that Oricorio, they're not taking a KO on any of your Pokemon V.
And when you force your opponent to give you an extra turn because they didn't get the KO, you just have, again, you have another chance of having an explosive turn full of draws. We've seen players miss out on the opportunity to KO that Mew because it just gets out of the way with Psychic Leap. And suddenly it's just right back into the deck. All that damage has gone to waste. And Andrew knows that Beedrill is one of the ways that you can put a stop to that. Just one Pokemon, one energy going for it. But looks to be a mulligan here for Bradley. Andrew's going to start with an extra card.
Oh, wow. That's just a lot of Pokemon and Pokemon Search in the prizes there for Andrew. Sobble, Inteleon, Arceus V-Star, double Quick Ball, and the Evolution Incense.
Losing out on the Quick Ball is rough because you needed to get those Sobble set up, but you also needed to thin your hand to set up for the Mustard.
Yeah, you still have access to Ultra Ball, but it's just going to tax those resources even more. Looking like another mulligan from Bradley here.
More mulligans coming in. We saw this earlier in the Swiss rounds, and this isn't common, right? I think with Mew specifically, there's a lot of basic Pokemon that you can at least start with one. So this is a little bit unusual.
Yeah, it's really just you get those hands sometimes.
Yep.
You play so many item cards, and sometimes you just shuffle into the way where, yeah, it's just going to look all the same. And
okay, I saw a Mew.
Oh, it was a Mew VMAX.
No!
Another mulligan for Bradley here. This is not what you want to see after losing the first game.
The quick balls being in the prizes aren't going to matter, right?
No, you're just going to draw all the Sobbles.
It's all good. All right, and Andrews keeps cutting the deck over and over again. He's cursing the opponent. We gotta get this game started, Andrew. Be nice.
Oh no.
Okay.
It is an Oricorio though, but you do have that Battle VIP pass in hand to get a couple more Pokemon, get things going a lot faster than last game.
All right, and nothing too important prized for Bradley, so even though Andrew starts off with a few extra cards, we all know that Mew VMAX is built entirely around getting tons of cards. So Bradley's going to make up for this card disparity right away on turn 1. Battle VIP Pass, classic. When this card was first introduced, everybody was like, oh, you know, these have been going first. You know, it's probably not worth the slots. And MuVMax was like, no, wait, this is perfect. This is exactly what I need. And if it's beyond turn 1, it just becomes discard fodder.
Yeah, and then you had Ultra Ball come back. And that made it even better for this deck, being able to just discard those extra copies when you don't need them later on in the game. You got Cram-O-Matic, you got Quick Ball. Really just a good mix of cards that really enable that card to be the best in this deck.
The enabling an explosive start is so important because getting the Genesect Vs in play, getting a bunch of Fusion Strike Pokemon in play quickly, immediately, just means you're drawing that many more cards ahead of your opponent. So you can remain appropriately reactive to what your opponent is trying to do. So MuV, Genesect V found. Name a more iconic duo.
At least in this metagame, right? Arceus and Drizzile.
Oh, yeah, true. That's another one.
So Fusion Strike Energy on that MuV. And looking at the hand, it's all right. This Rotomphone is probably just going to keep that card on top for next turn and go from there.
So
Ultra Ball's pretty good, but
are we thinking about put on top?
You just need more Pokemon. So the Genesect is a way to just get a quick one here.
Yep. Going to shuffle those back, and then the Genesect that was selected goes right back on top of the deck. That'll be Bradley's next draw. And not necessarily the draw for the next turn either.
Yeah, I don't know if Bradley has enough cards to thin the hand down to 2 to draw that Genesect. There's Switch, Marnie, Alessa Sparkle, and that Mew VMAX. So just a pass of the turn, but pretty good turn 2 setup for Bradley here.
All right, so here comes Andrew, goes through the energy search. This gives him the opportunity to also look through the deck, see what's been prized, see what you've got access to.
I guess the one benefit about prizing both of those quick balls is you start that Sobble, so you can just keep calling for all of them.
True, true. Having the Sobble in the active is not really that bad of a play because you have now the energy search to grab that water energy, do the keep calling, and go from there. Do you even want to go for the grass energy, actually, get that attached?
Yeah, that way you can just trading court it later.
I like that Andrew already adapting to, because every once in a while you get to make use of the tech in your opponent's deck, the way that these stadiums can affect both players. And training court, you know, it's the people's stadium.
Well, I think that's why Andrew runs 2 copies himself, just because it pairs so well when you have to discard all your resources just to get that mustard up.
Yeah, and then you just get the energies back, especially because, again, persisting, only 1 energy, very easy to get Trinity Charge, Trinity Nova up and running with the double turbo energy, and you just need the 1 basic attachment to shore that up. So overall, Andrew just specializes, of course, in piloting these sorts of engines.
It just looks like an embarrassment of riches here for Andrew's hand, thanks to all those mulligans, and could opt to play that Ultra Ball, get some cards discarded. You don't really need that Beedrill from your hand just because Mustard only gets it from the deck.
Oh, that is true. So you can use that as discard fodder.
But here we're just going to see that keep calling. You get those Sobble in play, and you have access to every Drizzile next turn.
Beautiful, beautiful. And also, again, while also looking through to look at the basic Pokemon, we're just still getting ahead for what is missing, what is prized, what I have access to. Because Andrew Mahone and Bradley were playing very quickly, all things considered, in the first game, they have a lot of a buffer here in game number 2. So now they're going to start getting a bit more focused, trying to plan ahead. That's really the strength of both of these decks.
This is going to be a pretty good turn for Bradley here, though. Just has that Mew VMAX switched into it. Gets that Oricorio on the bench now. Does have that Alessa Sparkle in hand. Could play it, but opts for the Marnie, especially with the size of Andrew's hand. So it's pretty lucky that Bradley had that one of copy in hand.
Yeah, and as I said, the mulligans ending up giving Andrew a good setup, but you can't make use of those extra cards for too long because of Marnie and because Bradley's just going to overtake you in terms of number of cards drawn. quick ball now.
Oh, no. I just got a peek at Andrew's hand. It's not looking too good. There's 2 scoop up net. Then I think a double turbo and a quick ball.
Oof. So there needs to be something very strong drawn off of the top of the deck here.
All the Drizziles are on the bottom.
They were in the hand. Now they're in the Marnie zone. The Marnie zone at the bottom of the deck.
Another Mew found for Bradley, so now he's drawn up to 5 cards here with each Genesect V. Just an amazing ability, and the fact that you can use multiple per turn, depending on however many Genesect you have. It's truly game-breaking.
Draws up to 5 cards. Another quick ball. Discarding the training court.
He's like, I'm not going to give you this training court.
Not going to put the training court in play, exactly. Gets another Genesect. Now we can bench this. Draw back up to 6. And what's Bradley looking for here? Like, it's fine and dandy to do your combos and your setup and draw a bunch of cards, but what are you trying to do this turn?
Still needs an energy, but is able to find it with the first card here. And, oh, that could be big. A Pokemon catcher, if that goes along with something like a Choice Belt, can take the knockout on an Arceus V and Tails.
Tails. Okay, catcher's been getting a lot of heads today. We don't want to see too many of those.
Yeah, even Bradley first game didn't flip Tails at all, but still could not pull it out thanks to that B-drill from Andrew.
Okay. Just going to KO the Sobble. That grass energy now going into the discard pile, but no training court for Andrew to take advantage of yet.
No.
Arceus V is promoted. Just going to go for the double turbo attachment, and this could just be a Trinity charge. No damage, but just energy acceleration onto the other Arceus.
Yeah, it has to be, but that is unfortunate. You can quick ball for another Pokemon here, but there's no real Pokemon you can get that'll help.
Yeah, just has to go for the Trinity charge.
This is not what you want to see for the Arceus deck. You have so many outs to just an evolution Pokemon. You got your Drizzile, your Level Ball, your Evolution Incense, your Ultra Ball. None of that was found.
The Marnie was just absolutely devastating. Andrew, just if you can draw maybe something bad to discard, but there's just I'm struggling to think of how you can get this you know, a Drizzile into play and kind of unbrick this.
Looking like a quick ball discards that Alyssa Sparkle.
And so, yeah, just, again, the quick balls have been chained one after the other, allowing you to find these key Pokemon, search through the deck. But the bench is all full. Everything is all ready to go. The system has been assembled. The Fusion Strike system going to keep drawing these cards. And Bradley just taking the time while shuffling to think about exactly what I want to go for. Do I want to try to look for a switch here, get rid of this Arceus V that's on the bench that has a bunch of energy on it already, or do I want to just take down what's in front of me and maybe save the switch for down the road?
Looks like probably trying to just cram to find a damage modifier here. Does
hit the
heads. So Bradley in wonderful position here, and it's all thanks to that Marnie. Who would have thought the Marnie from the Mew deck is able to swing this game?
And sometimes that's all you need, right? When you go for Marnie, a lot of players have used it just as an extra source of card draw. When they need to find those outs, they know that because they're shuffling the deck so much, putting their hand on the bottom doesn't matter as much. But, you know, the original purpose of Marnie was for that specific sort of disruption. And because Andrew had those extra cards from the mulligan, had obviously a very strong setup and was preparing for a follow-up to that strong start, the Marnie just put a huge stop to that. Fusion Strike attached to the Oricorio. So now there's three in play. No Meloetta to use though, but with the Mew VMAX set up, with access to you know, the Techno Blast, that laser beam from the Genesect V, you can still do respectable damage.
Sure.
Another cross fusion system.
Played the tablet, so it's cross fusion for Techno Blast.
All right. So there is the knockout, and 3 prizes left for Bradley. That's just a scoop of the cards for Andrew. Nothing going on in that hand.
Yeah, after that, Marnie just had 1 or 2 chances to maybe draw into something to unbrick that hand. But once the Mew got set up, had the second Mew ready to go, you can start just swapping them back and forth so you can sidestep the fact you can't attack after you use that Technoblast. That's definitely the smart choice. This is something that we don't talk a lot about. It doesn't come up too often, but knowing when the game is lost and going into the 3rd game with as much time as possible because you want to get the win and not a tie is so important. And Andrew, as again a longtime seasoned veteran, is going to make that call and has, I think, demonstrated over the course of the entire set so far, has had an inclination to save time.
Yeah, you kind of know when you're up against a deck like this Fusion Strike deck that they're going to have some pretty explosive starts. They're going to be able to take knockouts right away, and because of that, you never know if the games will actually go long or not. And when you're an Arceus deck, your games usually tend to go a lot longer than a lot of the other meta, but thanks to cards like the B-Drill, you're able to just right away take some prizes. We saw that game 1 took 15, 18 minutes at most.
True. And if your opponent knows the writing's on the wall, once you get that B-Drill set up and they're like, oh, I don't have my basic energies, I only have special energies, there's nothing for me to pivot into, they potentially see the writing on the wall and can concede. So Andrew, ironically, also playing a deck that buys him a lot of time, perhaps in the long run.
All right, it's looking like our players are getting ready now, drawing their hands for game 3. No mulligans from Bradley, but starts at Oricorio again.
Comes in clutch.
Well, we'll have to see the rest of the hand before we call it clutch or not.
It's clutch against not giving more mulligans to Andrew. All right, so we got Arceus in the active for Andrew. So this is, hopefully we get the classic turn 1 attach into a double turbo follow-up, 2 Mew Vs in the prizes, and an Elisa Sparkle all the way at the top.
And a couple quick balls for both players. Just seems like that kind of match for, for that card right now, at least.
Battle VIP Pass finding the setup. Even if there's 2 Mew Vs in the prize cards, as long as you can get 1 to stick, you're feeling pretty good. If you jump out ahead as Bradley here, your Mew V is not going to be in any danger of getting KO'd. So you don't need to pivot into anything else. You're going to just fill up the bench, keep drawing a bunch of cards, and it's this very consistent setup that happens on turn 1, turn 2 that really skyrocketed Mew V up to the top of the format. There was never any doubt.
Oh, not at all. Here we see Ultra Ball, the card of choice, discards Pokemon Catcher and Training Court. So again, just doing what you can to get the setup. Needs to find an energy. It's what you want to have going first with pretty much every deck in Pokemon, but for these two particularly, it really helps out. Finding that Fusion Strike energy and then being able to Melodious Echo is one of the best starts you can do.
And speaking of good starts, has the Genesect V now, thinning the hand down, has a Cram-O-Matic, attaches the double turbo. Cram-O-Matic to go down to 0 potentially. Nope. Going to draw first, just to see if there's something better to discard. But just passes.
Yeah, it does
actually taking it pretty easy breezy.
Don't want to discard those resources in hand. Power Tablet has shown to be too good, especially when you have that double turbo energy reducing your damage output. That means that's even more important.
Yeah, you've got to be able to hit those numbers. If you miss your window of opportunity, then you give Arceus another chance to attack. That's another round of energy acceleration, another chance for Mustard into B-Drill to happen to you. And so Bradley not going mad with power, going all in on just drawing a bunch of cards, still being very measured in saving key resources. Me, I love to just run away. If my deck is doing the thing that's doing, I'm good. Oh, me do cool thing. Me draw card, me happy.
Then Genesect would be perfect for you. Ultra Ball does discard the Raihan, though, so that's something to look at later on if this game does go late. Level Ball will find another Sobble, so 2 Arceus and a Sobble, kind of what you want to see here to save against some escape rope plays from your opponent, or if they actually take the knockout on an Arceus V, you still have that backup. Now you just have to hopefully attach to the bench one and hopefully a supporter here.
That's really what Andrew needs. He's consistently had like good setups. It's just that sometimes you can't pivot into something that gives you the proper follow-up or the proper pressure. Just goes for air balloon into Marnie, drawing up to 5. Has another Sobble in the hand. Done sparse, not really needed for this matchup. Has an energy search, however, can keep digging through the deck. Taking another deep look. Finds the grass energy.
Could just see another keep calling here. With that air balloon, you're able to retreat. But again, you do that. You discarded the Raihan. That's one of your ways to accelerate energy into the Arceus if you miss the energy drops. And if you do the keep calling, you'll have to have that.
The Sobble might be the way. Thinning the deck a little bit, trying to find a way to set up these Drizziles is so important. If we've seen it before, right, where if your opponent can snipe a Sobble at a key moment and deny a Drizzile, it just makes your hand dead, and you can't come back from that. But after the keep calling, it's going to be a full bench for Andrew.
Yeah, and if you think about it, Andrew doesn't really need to
leaves one spot open.
He doesn't really need to attack with Arceus early game. As long as you get that Mustard, get that Beedrill in play, those are pretty easy KOs for at least this point. You got that double turbo energy on that Mew. You got whatever Fusion Strike energy come down on a Meloetta, and from there, then you'll have time to charge up the Arceus.
And most of Bradley's deck is just, again, outside of Meloetta and Oricorio, it's all Pokemon V, so you're getting a lot of bang for your buck every time you attack. So the prize map is definitely there. If you can maybe get a Persist Sting on a Mew VMAX, then all you need to do is, as we saw in the first game, snipe a Genesect, get the Meloetta or the Oricorio is that final prize you need. All the pieces are in place right now on Bradley's bench for Andrew to take advantage of. But with Ellis' Sparkle, now the damage is going to start raining down.
And with the Fusion Strike energy in hand as well, that's just even bigger. Bradley's still going to need to find a way out of the active spot. That Oricorio is there, but attaching to the Oricorio means just easy retreat away, take the KO.
The full setup here for Bradley. I think that when it comes to Mew VMAX, this is a board state that you see all the time. It's so easy to get your hands on this, especially with the Battle VIP pass, getting you the Genesect. And now Andrew is, again, on the back foot. With all of this Fusion Strike energy in play, the Melodious Echo is going to start hitting big numbers. And there's not even an Arceus V-Star yet. No Starbirth to tie this hand together to try to set up that Mustard combo.
And that was a big switch, two-switch off the top for Bradley there. Now you can save that Fusion Strike energy that's on the Oricorio and still deal 210 damage and possibly even more later on, especially because that's a card that Andrew doesn't really want to take a knockout on.
You're already kind of covering, like we talked about, you're kind of covering the damage reduction that it offers. And if you could just get that out of the way, now Meloetta is definitely the bigger target to focus down.
Here we see Ultra Ball for the Mew VMAX, so now we'll get that in play as well. And this turn has been pretty good looking from Bradley here. Has the switch and a Rotom Phone to set up that last Fusion Strike system from Genesect.
And there it is. Rotom Phone once again, look at the top 5 cards. Figure out which one you want to go on top. We've got Power Tablet, we've got Quick Ball, maybe access to that.
Also got a Power Tablet and a Power Tablet. It's looking like Quick Ball might be the option here. You already played your supporter for the turn, so no boss's orders. Could rely on something like a Pokemon Catcher, and that's where the Power Tablet would be good. But you only got one Fusion Strike system left. It's a lot of cards to draw, kind of just playing it safe here.
Andrew also going to take the opportunity to shuffle that deck, put a little bit of his own energy into it. And there is, again, the switch you talked about, saving that Fusion Strike energy in play. And now Genesect drawing back up to 5. Still tons of resources to work with here. Boss's orders, Pokemon Catcher, excellent.
Did find the Pokemon Catcher, so...
Goes for another retreat.
Yeah, opts not to do it, not to dig more. There's the KO. no threat of a return knockout from Andrew's side of things just yet, unless there is a mustard play. But wow, just a boss's orders on the Genesect V and retreat to the Dunsparce. This is not good.
Ooh, Dunsparce just trying to hold the fort by a few rounds. We need Arceus V-Star to come through. We need Drizzile. And now Bradley, again, has the boss's orders. The Pokemon catcher can still respond to this play very easily. Is Genesect V really going to end up stranded here?
Bradley did discard that second switch,
yeah.
So the resources are getting a little thin here. Does decide to Ultra Ball away the 2 cards for Genesect V. So now you have at least more draw here. And looking through the list, there is Escape Rope, so that could be a good one to pick up here. And then I believe you could also have another double turbo. Yeah, there is one more double turbo energy as well.
Okay. Fusion Strike system, drawing more cards, has Echoing Horn, Quick Ball. Still so many options, so many draws. We've got 6 minutes left in the round, and everything is coming down to the wire. This game is very obviously going to be decided within the next few minutes.
Probably 6.5. You know?
Yeah, I give it about 6.5 minutes.
Maybe a little bit more, like 6:40.
All right, and here's Pokemon Catcher. Ooh. Tails has not been hitting these Pokemon Catchers, but again, it just thins the hand. Even if you fail, your consolation prize is drawing 2 cards, 3 cards.
Wow, and finds Boss's Orders and Power Tablet, but those are cards you don't really want right now. You have Echoing Horn to bring back a Sobble.
Filling up the bench, trying to make it so that Beedrill can't hit.
That is a good point, yeah.
Another Fusion Strike system for 2 more cards.
Wow, just finding all the Power Tablets. Does not find a way to get out of the active spot. And Andrew top decks an Arceus V-Star.
Andrew's Gambit pays off. Strands the Genesect V in the active spot and then gets the V-Star and can go for Starbirth. You can find Mustard and then I think an Ultra Ball and then you can get it. But the Beedrill, the bench is full. The Echoing Horn. Bradley hit that play off at the pass.
Does still have access to cards like Scoop Up Net to be able to pull that off, but again, is there a way for him to actually attack with the Arceus this turn? I don't think so.
Yeah, no energy on it.
No energy. The Raihan is already gone, plus there was no Pokemon being knocked out last turn. And this is where you kind of miss having a card like Melanie to be able to attach an extra energy. And I think, yeah, this is going to be an awkward turn still. Might have to hope Bradley just whiffs another turn with that Genesect V in the active spot.
Can you push your luck that far? Uses the Starbirth, though, is still looking for the combo pieces. We've got to find something. It's just that with one prize taken early, you don't have anything now to pivot into. You can't keep your momentum up.
Does look like Professor's Research is one of the cards. I couldn't eye the other one, but maybe double turbo and energy.
Yeah, something you want to discard, maybe get it back with the training court later.
Oh, no, it's a second Arceus V-Star, I believe.
Maybe something you don't really want. But Andrew now taking the time to assess everyone's resources. Again, the extra time that was saved from the first couple games really paying off here. So Arceus V-Star just gets thinned out of the hand, so then we can attach the choice belt and then research back up to 7. What is he looking for, Jeremy?
Extra turns. Does find an energy, so that will get things going for the following turn. But you are just at Bradley's mercy, and if he can find a way out of the active spot, there's still 3 Fusion Strike energy in play. That means your Arceus V-Stars are very close to being knocked out. Just a boss's orders and an energy attachment away. So as long as that Genesect V stays in the active spot, Andrew can take his time, get stuff going. But my word, is that just scary. How long can that stay in the active spot?
Exactly. Against a deck that draws so many cards, potentially finding an escape rope, it's not looking good. But here's the double turbo energy attachment. And again, with no KO, no Raihan to get that final energy. So can Andrew buy one more turn? Here's Quick Ball, thinning the hand. Setting up for these Fusion Strike systems. There's 3 shots at it.
It does look like both escape ropes are still in the deck too.
Now we just have to shuffle up and then draw into them. Andrew has to put his own energy into this deck, has to shuffle it and put this, hope that those escape ropes end up at the bottom. Here's Rose Tower as well to thin the deck further, drawing back up to 6. Ultra Ball can allow you to discard 2 more.
It's interesting to see Bradley decide not to go for the boss's orders to thin out the hand even more. I guess you're just kind of hoping that Andrew doesn't have a way to retreat if you whiff, but maybe that one card could be the difference maker. We'll have to see. Ultra Ball was a pretty good draw, so it gets rid of the extra cards you don't need. You can draw 3 yet again.
Holding the boss's orders might mean Bradley's looking for a different supporter card to play for this turn. Maybe looking for a Marnie.
If you miss, you don't want to use the boss's orders. At least that's my expectation of it. And with just 1 more draw left, you don't want to use those power tablets. Just a pass. Wow.
Andrew is managing to find the percentage here. Genesect V remains stranded for another turn. Dunsparce sitting in the active spot, holding the fort, holding back the onslaught of Mew VMAX, allowing Arceus to redouble its efforts, and now we can get energy attachment here, get more damage coming off of Arceus V-Star finally. Can we get the switch into the attack? The bench is still full. No KOs yet. Bradley maybe is a little bit happy that nothing's happening just yet because the B-Drill is not going to come out here.
Yeah, one thing not to be happy about is with the way this Game 3 has been going. Look at the time now. Just over a minute left, and only 1 prize card has been taken by these players. And with that, that's going to be essentially just locking it in as a tie.
Yeah. There's just not enough time.
Now with the Inteleon, Andrew will be able to find the Scoop Up Net and Level Ball, so Scoop Up Net can pick up that Dunsparce if you want to get it out of the active spot. Level Ball can find a Drizzile, and then you finally get to start attacking.
Yep, scoops it. Arceus comes up. That's the one with the air balloon on it, so we can pivot into something else when the need comes.
Level Ball could also find the Galarian Zigzagoon to take the knockout, but you could also take that later on. You've already had this Genesect stranded in the active spot for a couple turns now. Why would you want to knock it out right away?
Still sorting through. There's the Ordinary Rod.
Ordinary Rod, then also a Pal Pad is going to be played. Just thinning the hand out of cards, especially when you know your opponent is playing a Marnie. It's always something you have to watch out for. I believe Bradley did discard it earlier on in a couple turns, but it's still just heads-up play from Andrew. You need to thin down, and the time is called, and Andrew is turn 0.
Yeah, I think that now the players are assessing the situation. Now that time has been called, we know that.
Yeah. All right. He's like, you're going to try to take 5 prizes in 2 turns? Like, yeah, I don't think so. And with that, unfortunately for both players, it is a tie, but they're not out of it. It just means they still have another win it in next round. Yeah,
the players, we were complimenting how well they were saving time there in the early games, but when it came to Game 3, it ended up just grinding down to a stalemate, right?